whatever. I can just start on chats.
All righty. We are live for the very first time streaming on YouTube and the Acquire.Fi X page. What's going on, gents?
What's up, man? Happy to be back.
Oh, man, that's the first time ever seeing that pink live circle showing up on the Acquire.Fi X page there. It's a beautiful thing.
I'm so scared.
Welcome. Let's see here. See that. Get that shared across the different socials here.
Okay. Nice and live.
Let's go.
All right. We got the usual stuff going on if you're tuning in. If this is the first time you're seeing this because we're going live and you're a follower on X or on YouTube, welcome. We do this twice a week, every Tuesday and Friday coming on here. We got the chart master, Mr. Andrew, going to run us through all the major stuff, Bitcoin, Ethereum, take a look at some of the TradFi indices, check out what's going on in the overall markets, how trends are going. Right now it's a little red. But we'll discuss how long is that going to go on for. Are we wrecked? Are we in for a little sideways? Are we about to bounce? We'll cover some charts. Happy to take requests as well. If you want to comment on the video while we're live here, we'll try to cover a few charts from audience requests. And then we dive into some of the up and trending stories of the week. Look at how things are going to be affecting the overall macro picture for the Web3 markets, as well as diving in and taking a deep look at what's going on in the M&A and OTC markets. If you're familiar with us at all, that's our specialty. We're the largest M&A marketplace in all of Web3, as well as one of the largest OTC desks. So we're going to probably take a look at a couple live deals, both in M&A and OTC, kind of give you an inside scoop on what's going on there as well. But yeah, that's kind of what we do and who we are. I guess I'll turn it over here to Mr. Andrew. Take a look at some of these charts here.
Yes, sir. How's it going, guys? So, we finished off last week on Friday, was it? We came out pretty strong going into the weekend, right? We initially thought, okay, a lot of de-risking ahead of the Jackson Hole. Conference was somewhat volatile. Pretty much Powell was saying like he's got a bit of a hawkish view or dovish. Hawkish view with a little bit of like dovish undertones. Essentially, they are willing to possibly cut rates depending on the numbers coming out in August. So they're looking at CPI, they're looking at unemployment rate, and then they're also going to be looking at PCE. So the jobless claim stuff's coming out later this week on Wednesday, I think. Thursday, sorry. Also, that's when the GDP numbers come out as well. And this is for a few other countries as well. And then also the core PCE on Friday. So these two are going to be pretty important to watch because depending on how that comes out, that's what the Feds are going to use to decide whether or not they're going to cut rates in September. Essentially, the probability of the rate cuts did go up quite a bit, like up to about like 85 to 90% over the weekend. And so we did see a bit of a firework going into the weekend. But now, as you can see, since Saturday, Sunday, and yesterday, we've just been kind of slowly bleeding back down. So a little unfortunate, but I do feel like the market's just kind of possibly just de-risking right now, especially because we got these pretty big macro events coming up pretty soon here. And then typically, end of September or end of August going into September, there's usually a bit of like a seasonal trade where things do kind of sell off. So I don't know whether that's the case here right now, but looking at the chart, it's definitely not the prettiest sight. Like even when I look at equities, ending on Friday, it was great. We were breaking to all-time highs on Dow, Russells. We had a nice recovery on the S&P and NASDAQ. But since pretty much yesterday, it's just been kind of selling off again. So I feel like a lot of it's just kind of profit-taking, de-risking ahead of this event. But until we start getting more of these like double top structures, I think we're just kind of consolidating, maybe just range a little bit, bounce around these moving averages here. Yeah. So hopefully the numbers come out okay Thursday and Friday, and then we can kind of resume, whatever is left of this uptrend. But at the end of the day, I do feel like we're getting closer and closer to some kind of pivot end here because we've had quite a bit of a run since April.
Only up.
Sorry.
Only up.
Yeah, only up. Hopefully. But until we like start losing these lows, right? Like we're still technically in an uptrend, right? So higher lows, higher high creates an uptrend bull market. So until we start losing these lows, I wouldn't be too stressed. But as of right now, there really isn't any kind of setup for me. I think again, if we can start printing those kind of W's here, right, then we can maybe consider more bullishness. But just kind of like how we got these W's here. These look like they're just kind of a retest of the original breakouts at this point. So let's see. Let's see how this midweek turns for us there.
What do you think? Well, dollar went down a lot during the night time, and usually when dollar goes down, it's a very bullish thing for Bitcoin and other assets. But no, it's not in the case. Is it that dollar is losing power, or what's going on here?
I don't know. Sometimes the market just kind of destabilizes and changes, right? Like I do agree. Like for a long time, US dollar was like an inverse correlation to risk on assets, so like equities, crypto. But pretty much since like I don't know, I can't remember where exactly, but it started to kind of like how do you say like
decouple,
not be decoupled pretty much in a sense. But what I do see on the dollar is we are like in a reload zone, right? This is where the dollar should technically start seeing some kind of support. And as you can see, we are trying to put in double bottoms here right now. We did have one confirmed. Now we're just doing like a Wyckoff check, retesting the original breakout. And then if another kind of W comes in here, then, I do see the possibility of US dollar actually hitting back up. Which I don't know. It might not be a good thing for risk on assets, but, if things are decoupled right now, then we might see everything kind of run together. But right now, this is like a tight consolidation. This is the range right now. Top of range is pretty much up here. Bottom of the range is down here. And so we have to see whether or not we want to base here.
What about
we're seeing some new factors come into that whole risk on versus US dollar conversation as stable coins come into play. When we really start to see stable coins catch momentum, when we see the hundreds of billions, if not trillions of dollars being on-ramped into stable coins, that's going to massively increase maybe not massively, but it's going to increase the strength of the dollar while simultaneously pushing assets like probably Ethereum and maybe a few others up with it, where traditionally as the dollar strengthens, risk on assets like Bitcoin, Ethereum, et cetera, have gone down. So, it could be an interesting factor that plays into this new market dynamic.
Definitely. Yeah. Another thing I want to point out is like the VIX too is pretty low here right now. Until we start seeing VIX kind of break out like this or like here, that's when I would start getting kind of concerned for like the bull market. Generally, when the VIX starts pumping up like that, that's when like, okay, here comes all the shorts. So right now we're relatively low and like just kind of stable here for now. So again, not too concerned on the bear side just yet, but definitely keeping my eyes on the VIX there as well. But moving on to crypto. So yeah, same thing, right? Friday, big blowout, big push. ETH broke out to all-time highs pretty much on Sunday. But then since then, it's just been kind of a slow bleed back down. We talked about this double top like last week. Once you get these double tops, generally markets do kind of go down. We haven't been able to recover. We tried here. It looked like it was just a retest of the original breakdown. And then back down we went. And then losing these lows here wasn't very good either. I do feel like the uptrend is a bit paused now, losing that low. So essentially we have these lows down here to defend next. Right now, we did talk about this reload zone that I was eyeing for potential support. I did notice that we came pretty close to it, and then we just kind of bounced right above. For me, I still would like it to come down into the actual zone and then form some kind of structure. So if we can get some kind of like double bottom within this green box, then that would be a screaming buy for me. Right now, I don't feel like I want to be chasing anything quite just yet. But we did have this level drawn out around 110. This is the original consolidation breakout over here. And so it does make sense for the price to kind of park itself here, see if it wants to break out and consolidate here. If not, then, we do have levels a bit lower down here. 107 is another interested level there. And then 103 is kind of where I ideally want to be buying, just because of the fact that there is a CME gap on pretty much right there, 103. So right there. So that's kind of what I'm eyeing right now, these little gap fills. We got more gaps below, but in the meantime, I do feel like that's kind of an interested area, especially as that lines up with kind of the 78.6. And generally, 78.6 is kind of like my favorite level to kind of hit. So definitely keeping my eyes on this area as things kind of work itself out. But as of right now, there's not much going on in momentum. We don't really have a bull div or anything building just yet. We are getting closer and closer to oversold conditions, but we're not there yet. So there's still some room for the sell side if there is. And again, until we start getting some kind of structure here, it's going to be hard for me to justify any kind of long. So it's mostly just kind of waiting and seeing how this resolves. And then also based on, Wednesday, Thursday and Friday of how the numbers come out, we'll see what kind of volatility that brings back in. For Ethereum, it was nice to see we finally broke out all-time highs, almost hit 5K. So we just kind of poked our head right above and then just kind of got shot down. So we technically have this wonky double top. We are sitting against the 13 EMA. So this is going to be a support or it's going to be a resistance. Hopefully we can kind of start rebasing here. We pretty much broke right back down to this original breakout level. And this uptrend is still intact just because we didn't lose these lows here yet. So that's kind of a good sign. I do feel like if we are to keep continuing higher, this is kind of where we want to start seeing things rebase and start forming some kind of structure, whether it be double bottoms or inside bars or whatever. Something there would be kind of good. The only thing is I do see potential bear divs, bear divs coming in. This has made a higher high. This made a lower high. So we are in the face of a potential bear div. Momentum wise, in terms of RSI and Boolean percentage R, we're not quite oversold or anything like that. So, or overbought, I mean. So there's still some room. But right now, in terms of structure, I think we just have to wait till we get some kind of, W. Kind of like how we got that W right there, right? And it broke out. Looking for something very similar to that. So if you go on a line chart, it's a little bit easier to see that W. But as you can see, anytime we break out, there's always some kind of W pattern, right? So those double bottoms are what we're looking for and what we're waiting for. So until then, we're just kind of chilling.
I think also there's a huge liquidation at the 5K. Once we break that out, there's not a lot of volume after that, all liquidity.
Yeah, damn. It would be nice because then I do have some higher targets around 6K. That's the fog and bomb level. It is kind of interesting. We did pretty much top out at our 2.618 fib extension level. So hopefully we can recapture that and hold these levels, because ideally we don't lose these lows, because if we do lose these lows, then I'm going to be probably looking around that 38.2 as our next support, and then that's our pretty much our next big support level there. But ETH looks much stronger than Bitcoin. That's for sure.
Yeah, but to be honest, on Ethereum, the ETF flows for the past 3-4 days have been very positive. If you compare to BTC ETF flows, they've been actually quite negative. But Ethereum, it had 4 days of negativity, and now it has had 4 days of positivity. It definitely showing some strength here.
Yeah, it's definitely looking much better. Even when I look at ETH BTC chart, I completely ignored this chart for a while, and then I realized holy shit, that's a pretty strong breakout. And so obviously ETH is a lot stronger looking right now. But the thing is, like, we are really overbought. We got lots of potential bear divs. We're coming right into a short reload zone. So this is kind of where we start thinking like, okay, like, is this really going to keep going? Or is this where like we start facing a lot of that heavy resistance? So the fact that we like pretty much topped right at that 61.8, yeah, it's pretty standard there, I guess. So, but for now, we do have these moving averages for support. So hopefully this uptrend can stay up, and then we can just kind of keep climbing, stair-stepping its way up higher and higher. Hopefully out of this red zone, but we'll see.
Anything you see with alts?
Alts are looking kind of okay, I guess. Like we took quite a bit of a beating. Like we had the breakout on Friday. We saw some really strong bounces, and then pretty much Saturday, Sunday, yesterday, and today, it's just been a very slow bleed back down. Pretty much that entire breakout was just eaten up. So we're right back to where we started. Stablecoin dominance is starting to put in W's here. And if we do start losing these lows on these indexes, then those are going to put in some pretty big M's, which isn't good for altcoins, obviously. That means like a lot of this risk on stuff might start getting beat up again. But I think a lot of this is going to really depend on how ETH performs here, how Bitcoin performs, right? So just keeping your eyes on that. This is total crypto market cap. We have some pretty big double tops here. We had a double top confirmed here. Now this is looking like another big double top. So does the market need to get a wash and reset a bit? It's a possibility. I definitely wouldn't be trying to chase longs here right now. I'm not overly confident on the long side right now. So just again, I'm really waiting to see better structure, clearer signals, and then maybe some of this momentum stuff needs to clean up itself a bit as well, because it's definitely leaning a bit more bearish to me.
I think also, like, good to remember, September is always bearish. Like every time we go to Korea or token 2049, which is in Singapore, it's always red. Like I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm pretty bearish at the moment, but I'm still DCA.
Like September is generally pretty rough, even just traditional markets. So seasonally, like September, October is kind of like shitty, but then that sets you up like really good buying opportunities going into the end of the year. So the most important thing is just like don't lose focus, right? And like don't try to like catch every dip. Just like be patient, wait for like good levels, wait for your setups, yada yada, same old shit. And then hopefully by end of year we can get a nice like final like seasonal push into like New Year's, Christmas and stuff. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for. But yeah, I mean, if I could just even show you this chart, right? Like percentage returns, as you can see, September's are generally pretty bad. So
September is when you start loading positions, right? And then October, November is when we really pump, especially October. Like after token,
November,
it's remarkable. It's always positive.
Yeah, October, like crazy how like consistent it's been. So yeah, I mean, definitely like again, just like you're gonna get the opportunity to buy. You just gotta wait for those setups. They're gonna present themselves just like how it did back in April, back in November of last year. Like you just gotta wait, be patient.
Well, that's the thing. That always like blows my mind. People get so like volatilely bearish, and like we've had, you just mentioned 2 major pumps within a single calendar year. November last year, April again this year. And like there's been tons of opportunities, maybe not market wide, but smaller niche down opportunities in between there. But at the end of the day, like if you're doing this professionally, you only need 1 or 2 big opportunities a year. We've gotten 2, probably going to get 3 massive pumps within a calendar year. Like not a ton of markets are doing that. So it's be patient, man. Like, you only need 1 or 2 really good setups throughout the year, or, 1 or 2 big runs throughout the year to really make a lot of money. I get it. It's boring sitting on your hands for, 8-10 months of the year, but you know, do you want to make money or do you want to be, you know, have some excitement in the market?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, like year after year, you know, you get better at this and you start to kind of see the patterns and stuff. And then, yeah, you just, you know, over time, you kind of get used to it. But just don't lose focus and, like, you know, trade with a trading plan, you know, all that jazz. But yeah, this is one that really pissed me off. Like, I was really close to hitting my 2x on Morpho. So close. And then they just nuked it. So now I'm waiting. But if this is like a trade that like you wanted to get in, right? Just like how I did back here, like we look at the beginning, we look at the top, then we look at the retracement. For this one, I came in around like the reload zone. I like the fact that it bounced off the 88.6, and then we wait for the double bottoms, and then wait for the bull divs, and then off we go. So same thing. I do want to probably add to this trade. So the optimal levels that I'm looking at is either, you can try to look at like trend continuation setups around 38.2s. So that's one area. That's also where that double bottom breakout was right there previously before this broke out. Or if you want to get in real cheap, then, hunting these reload zones is kind of where I'm looking at for as well. And then you can, you might even try to re-enter at my original entry there. Well, it really depends where the double bottom kind of sets itself. But, hunting around these green boxes, generally kind of where I want to see. So waiting for those double bottoms again. And then, yeah. But as you can see, there are some stuff that are on the green today. Even Pump is trying to form a base here.
I'm still pretty bullish on Pump. I mean, they're doing pretty good revenue compared to other platforms, and they're doing 100% buybacks. It's just very unfortunate. But if I would be someone, I would look at Pump and Pengu, basically.
Yeah.
So look at the pattern with Pengu and Pump. It's basically the same.
Yeah. So like kind of like how we did back here when we waited for the double bottom, right? We broke out. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for again here. We did get stopped out at scratch here pretty much on this pullback. So I am not in this trade anymore, but I did keep this up just to keep monitoring. I like the fact that we're getting closer to this like potential bull div on the daily MACD. We're getting closer to the oversold conditions as well. And we are still within the long reload zone here, right? So all we're really missing is like this. It's like if we can get another double bottom structure, then that's kind of like how I want to be playing this trade. So I'm really just waiting and monitoring for that double bottom. And once that double bottom does come in, then I'll be looking to add to this trade. You said Pengu as well, right? So we can take a look at Pengu.
But yeah, look at the daily. It had the similar structure. It pumped a little bit and then it went down for at least 2 months. And then it started pumping. And I think the same thing will happen with Pump eventually. Obviously, they are a little bit different categories, but what I understood is that Pump is doing much more revenue than Pengu. But obviously, this is speculation.
Yeah. So Pengu right now is at a 38.2. So, if it is supposed to rebase, then this is kind of the area it should start to try to hold structure. Let's see what happens here. I did take a short on that that double top there. So just waiting and seeing. But we are at a 30.2. We are getting these big bullish divs starting to roll in here potentially. All we're really missing is like a double bottom here now. So if we do start getting those double bottoms, right, then this is this area where you would kind of want to hunt for. So something to chew on, perhaps. Take a look.
Speaking of alts that people are bullish on, I don't know if you guys saw the story here. Arthur Hayes, uber bullish on Hyperliquid, saying that over the next 3 years they could 126x. I don't know. I know you guys. We've all been fans of Hyper recently, but 126x over the next 3 years is. I mean, that's impressive. I don't know. What do you guys thoughts on what's the chart for Hyper looking like?
I don't know about 126 friggin' whatever, but like, damn, what the hell? That's pretty Those are pretty high projections.
He made a whole presentation at the conference in Tokyo. I think it was last week about why he thinks it's going to happen. Market cap currently 15 billion, so that's pretty big market cap to 126x.
Yeah. So
yeah, but you have to remember, there's not a lot of supply out yet. There's still a lot of supply, community supply coming out, at least in the future. Plus, Steam tokens are coming out in November. Obviously, like if you look at something 3 years, and they can definitely have more volume, more revenue, maybe, I don't know. But usually Arthur Hayes is a pretty
he sounds a bit like an XRP fan right now. 126x, with the dilution over the next 3 years would put Hyperliquid at a market cap somewhere in the range of like $4 trillion.
Oh shit! Crazy.
Well, I mean, market cap's 15 billion now. So you 100x that's 1.5 trillion. Then add the 26x. Let's just call it an even whatever 1.75 trillion. And then factor in that only about a third of the circulating supply is out there. So probably another third of that's going to be out. So you're gonna have to at least double that number there. So you're looking at like $3 to $4 trillion in market cap if he wants 126x in 3 years. Again, those are XRP retardation level numbers.
I feel like we're more close to a top now hearing that.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious, man. Arthur Hayes is a smart guy, but like he's not right all the time. Like I can't justify buying up here. Like this is so expensive, right? Like where the levels are. You know where to buy on these pullbacks. But like buying right here is like, man, you're exposing yourself to so much risk on the downside. Like, I don't know. I mean, you could try to maybe see a double bottom come in on the 4 hour, perhaps. You can maybe try to do like a trend continuation type setup. Do like one of these like AB equals CD type trades. But honestly, it's not my preference of buying stuff this expensive. I would rather, again, just wait for those pullbacks and then try to buy in a bit cheaper. But, if we are supposed to do this like harmonic type setup, then 54 bucks is kind of the ideal target. Is what I'm looking at. But I don't know. This trade is it's kind of milked. Technically, it's already stopped the scratch level there. So
I didn't watch his presentation on why he thinks it's going to go there, but I just read the cliff notes. As much as I'm a fan of Hyperliquid and they've got great market dominance, etc., I think he's a little ambitious.
Yeah, like this is kind of how I'm looking at it, right? So you got this like little A, B up here. Settings over here.
I mean, I could see it go to 60, 75 pretty easily from here, but
people joked about $100 initially.
Yeah, but that's
right?
Gonna be very choppy. It's very hard to move the market.
Something like that. So I think 54 bucks. This is definitely doable.
But obviously,
I wouldn't want to buy this here.
Yeah, the product is good. If this is a long-term bag, maybe you get a double. Maybe the risk reward is there, but you're basically risking what? 1-to-1 or 1-to-2? It's just not
there. If you bought here, it's roughly around like 2.5. It's like risk to reward. If you're targeting that $54 with your stops around 40. But again, I don't know. I don't really like trading like stuff like this, like at these high levels. So for me, I would just wait. I'd rather just wait till it comes back down. Ideally, back to these lows around here, perhaps, which is quite low. But eventually markets will retrace. And
it's one of those. Is probably a great one to add to your bear market buy list, right? Like it's something that whenever we get the bear market, it's going to correct probably 70, maybe more %, and it's going to sit down there at the lows for a long time, like all the top alts will. But they're super well capitalized. They're not going to go away. They're going to be able to survive this bear market. So this might be a good one to look at when everything's bottomed to get in a bag where you can just sit on it and not worry about these minor dips when the bull market resumes. This is like the guys that bought Bitcoin at 15, 16, under 20K in the bear market, guys that bought Solana when it was down at like $12, guys that bought Link at $5. They don't give a shit if it dips from 20. Link dips from 25 to 18. They bought at $5. So you're just laughing and waiting, for when you want to exit. So I think this is a good target for one of those bear market buy lists for hype.
Yeah, that's it for me. In terms of charts, I don't really have any other names to really kind of go through. There's no real setups for me right now. But if there's ever names that you guys want to take a look at, just throw them my way, and I can chart it for you guys and give you my perspective on it. But yeah.
So yeah, shout out to the 45 people we've got tuning in across both YouTube and X. Looks like mostly on X at the moment. Not super surprising there. We haven't put a lot of work into developing the YouTube channel. But yeah, if you guys have charts you'd like to take a look at, if you have news stories, topics, questions, whatever, drop it in a comment. It will pop up on the live stream here. We are happy to answer and do some charting for you guys here in the live stream. Let's see. I think this is the story we're looking for here. Boom. Yes. Yeah. This is the Arthur Hayes article we were talking about. Conference in Tokyo. I think it was last week. Gave a presentation on stage of why hype is gonna pump 126x. It did manage to pump the token 4%. So he might have got a little quick scalp there off the speech, but overall. Yeah, not something I'm going to be placing any bets on anytime soon. Covered a little bit earlier here, Fed decision. As you can see here, I thought it actually got higher than this, but it looks like it went up to about 81% was the high there back earlier this month, and jumped hard down to 57%. I actually thought it went lower again. I thought it was down around 40%, but after Friday, after the speech in Jackson Hole. Looks like people are a lot more confident, pumping back up to 81% here pretty consistently over the last couple of days here. So markets hopefully feeling a little more confident. We're going to get a base, or at least a 25 basis point cut in September. Now, as to how many we're going to get before the end of the year here, I think the max possibility is what, 3? We've got the September meeting. There's October and then December. Or is it there's no October and there is a November? Anyways, I think there's only 3 possible cuts between now and the end of the year. Correct me if I'm wrong. There 4.
I mean, they also fired yesterday, or tried to fire this other Fed person, right?
Yeah. What's her name? I got that here somewhere. Here she is, Mrs. Lisa Cook. Saying she's not stepping down. Trump has no authority to fire her. His reason for the firing was apparently she's involved in some sort of like housing lending fraud or something along those lines. I don't remember exactly what, but some sort of like serious crime.
Damn. Maybe it's a good thing to let her go then. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I like. It seems like I have no issue with the reason he said he was going to fire. Is it constitutionally legal? Does he have the actual power to do so? I haven't a clue. But if what she's being accused of is true, then yeah, definitely get her the hell out of there.
But yeah, I think this will affect quite a lot. Like slowly but steadily, Trump is getting his people in Fed, and eventually Fed doesn't have any more Biden people, and basically because of that, we will get some rate cuts. Obviously, is that good for the market? Yes, but is it good for the normal people? No. Like, inflation will go sky high. We'll print more money. But yeah, good time to DCA on BTC or on gold and other hard assets and Ethereum.
We're already seeing the effect of Trump getting his people, in positions of power across a number of different agencies. SEC probably the biggest example of that. Rewind a year ago, and the SEC was persecuting everybody. There was lawsuits flying left and right. Now, the SEC, who formerly sued Kraken, is now meeting with them to partner on digitizing, on DATs and tokenization of traditional assets. So it's just, a wild world. Like, this is just another great example of how this massive federal bureaucracy is just an absolute waste of time, taxpayer money, and it's an absolute joke. Within a calendar year, we have the same organization that's suing a company coming out and saying that what they're doing was legal, is legal now, and now partnering with them to digitize traditional assets after suing them for $30 million. What was it, 2 years ago? So again, these organizations are an absolute joke, but at least for the time being, they're helping us out. That's the issue. We get midterm elections, we get presidential election in 3 years, and this can all change. So I guess enjoy the lenient bureaucracy while we can. But I think the whole point of our entire industry was to get away from bureaucracies like this, being able to determine the outcome of our own financial well-being and our control of our own money. So obviously mixed feelings on that. Pump our bags in the meantime, but in the long term, like this type of shit shouldn't matter. It's kind of the whole purpose of Bitcoin and crypto to begin with. But anyways, getting off on a tangent there a bit.
How the tables have turned, huh?
Jeez. Table, that's right. Well, obviously, a lot of red in the markets. We talked about, from a chart perspective, what that looks like. What are the reasons behind it? I mean, overall, a lot of bearish sentiment in the market. A lot of, big people taking profits. Binance being accused of dumping both ETH and Bitcoin to liquidate longs, market manipulation. Don't know this guy from Adam. Don't know what validity there is to this. But would not be the first time that Binance or, generally centralized exchanges, the large market makers, this is the kind of activities that they are, known to do. So this shouldn't surprise anybody. These are the kind of things you got to be aware of if you're going to be trading, if you're going to be participating in these markets. There are massive players out there that have far more money than you and I and 100 of us combined. And they are going to be out there hunting longs, hunting shorts. This is how they make their money. So market manipulation definitely alive and well still in crypto as well as the traditional markets. MACD, major bearish cross on the MACD. We brought that up a bit earlier. Crypto Eric Crown, one of my favorite Bitcoin TA guys, calling for this to be a prolonged sideways event, not a cycle ending event, but if I think that the number is 116 by Sunday. So if we don't see Bitcoin closing back above 116,000 by Sunday, we will get a cross on the weekly MACD here. Again, he's saying traditionally in the cycle that has signaled a multi-month sideways consolidation, not necessarily a dip to major lows or cycle ending dip, but anywhere from a 2 to I think 5 month consolidation from historically we've seen when that's happened this cycle. So I think that kind of aligns well with what you guys were just looking at in the charts there. September, October probably could be pretty boring, and then gearing up for a big November.
Yeah, that's a bearish dip too on the weekly. Those are nasty.
Yep. So again, not looking at cycle ending kind of signals here, but definitely a signal for a market cooling down, probably some prolonged sideways, and could see a bit lower here yet. But again, I say it every week. I look at that as a positive thing. The longer we go sideways, the longer we consolidate, the higher overall potential I think we see for the cycle top, as well as the extension of how long this cycle can go. So I'm all for a boring September, October. More chance to DCA, more chance to refill some dry powder and take advantage of what's left of this market, or this cycle, I should say. Take a look at ETH and Bitcoin inflow, ETF flows here. Looks like the first positive day on Bitcoin in a while yesterday, 219 million positive. This is coming off the back of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days in the red there. Obviously contributing to the price pushing down there. Ethereum also rallying the last couple of days. Only had 4 days in the red for Ethereum. Now bumping back up. August still super in the black here with almost $1.3 billion in the green there in terms of buys, even after a couple pretty bearish red sell-off days there. This is getting super obnoxious. Every time we see inflows on ETF for either Ethereum or Bitcoin going up or down, it's always BlackRock is selling, BlackRock is buying. BlackRock is a custodian. They obviously have a lot of money, and yes, maybe they are buying their own personal bags and certainly could be engaging in market manipulation. But this is not BlackRock buying and selling here for the most part. Like BlackRock isn't buying 1.3 trillion in ETH this month net, right? This is a giant pool of people that both individual investors, retirement accounts, fund managers from all over the United States that are buying and selling this. So again,
good to know here that gold, when they got their ETFs, it had a 10-year bull run basically. And it's still on bull run, to be honest. So, yeah, let's see what will happen eventually. But Ethereum definitely has flipped BTC inflows at the moment. Much more interest, much more better returns. The risk profile is also better. If you look from the institutional point of view, like how far can BTC go? Obviously, it will go on the next cycle again, 2028, when it halves. It's going to get more flows probably. But at the moment, Ethereum is getting the spotlight. You can stake it much better than BTC. It's just the use cases there are much better at the moment. Obviously, I am a BTC bull though.
I think both of them are going to trend up into the right over the long term. ETH's more sexy right now. Lower market cap, has higher potential. Like you mentioned, there's staking where people can earn dividends while holding it. So, but overall, I think that with these ETFs, one thing that's going to contribute to this long-term, potential for like gold did for 10-year, continue to trend up and to the right, is especially with things like Ethereum, like these are long-term buyers. These aren't people coming in for a quick flip. Like these are people that are coming in to buy as part of a large portfolio. And to hold for multiple years, multiple cycles, maybe even multiple decades, especially on an asset like Ethereum, where they can get dividends paid out while they are seeing that increase there. So, overall, the ETFs I think are going to be a massive windfall for the overall industry.
Also, I think strategy has made some very bad decisions. They're basically releasing more stock again, and I think people that were bullish on BTC are starting to be a little bit negative. Obviously, when you have a big player like Strategy, Sailor, having such a big pile of BTC, it's never good. Centralization is not that I fond of. So let's see.
Well, it's like any of these trends that we see in Web3, the IPO trend, right? Like Circle knocked it out of the park. And you got Kraken and Gemini and everybody else racing, and pretty soon that market's going to get diluted, and it's not going to be a moneymaker like it was before. When Sailor first started doing this, the Mike taking the MicroStrategy approach got red hot. Everybody and their dog was all these companies launching a similar strategy or buying spot Bitcoin, or it was just announcement after announcement for 6 months earlier this year of companies getting in. And then, that's like you said, it starts to kind of oversaturate the market. People kind of get turned off on the trend. ETH's the new hot chick on the block, right? And all the money, all the eyes are heading over to ETH. And I imagine it's gonna, be the belle of the ball until it's not, and then there'll be a new trend. Maybe it'll shift back to Bitcoin. Maybe it'll be Solana. Maybe it'll be, something else. But it's pretty typical for what we see with these trends in Web3. That when people see a money making opportunity, it's hot until it's not.
For that.
What else do we got here? I don't know. Bearish on Barachain. Barachain raised $150 million. Very hyped launch, hyped build. They're at all the conferences the last couple of years with major sponsorships, talking at every conference, all over crypto Twitter. Had their big launch earlier this year. We're 5 months in after mainnet launch, and they're generating a good almost $600 a day in on-chain.
I'm actually happy to say that we make more than them. I guess we have to start raising more money.
We didn't even have to raise $150 million to do it.
Oh, damn, bro. Someone called Smokey.
Yeah.
What's he doing?
He's actually a good guy, man. I met him many times. But yeah, very unfortunate. I think they're cooking something, though. I would be surprised if something happened in the end of the year. If you look at their chart, I think I'll be
looks good.
Yeah,
I like the chart.
Yeah, it's bottom.
Well, I mean, and nothing against Barachain in particular, but like
no, but I get your point. Like
bad.
this is the same
like,
as
how many
IT.
times have we seen this? How many times are we gonna see this? Like, I mean, we can name just off the top of our head, like Arbitrum, Base, Sui, Aptos. Like, pick an L1 or L2 that was like the next best thing, gonna break everything out of the, blow everything out of the water and change the scene in Web3. They raised 50, 80, 100, 150 million dollars, and like they're all like just no transaction volume, like no apps being built. It's like the old Silicon Valley model is like come to Web3 now. Just like get to the next raise, get to the next raise, get to the next raise. Never have any actual like users and revenues. Like we can't have a million Ubers of L1s, right? Like Uber, like I think for the first time ever showed profit this like last year. It took them like 20 years and they raised like how many billions of dollars to get there? Like that's not sustainable. Like we can't do that in Web3. We can't have 50 L1s and L2s out there that are the next best thing, all trying to, raise a series C, D, E, F, G, elemental P, and then someday maybe get to profit. Like it's just asinine. Like this like isn't gonna work. Like we can't keep supporting this stuff.
Yeah.
No, but
That's
I get it.
I think the resale market was so dead this cycle.
Yeah,
like,
I think
nobody
was
knows
fun was that they made $75 and they raised what 100 plus $1 million. But yeah, like this also shows like how hard it is to build a product market fit in crypto. Like it's not that easy. Despite you have all the money, and if you can't understand what people actually want, I mean, it's very hard. It's very hard.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. But like you can't blame like guys like Smokey for going out there and trying to do something different when people are going to throw $150 million at you. Like, dude, more power to you. Like what? I mean, if investors are going to be dumb enough to keep investing in like L1 after L1, that's like going to come out and just shit the bed. Like, all right, I'll take $150 million to open up an L1 that does nothing in 5 years. How many founders have we?
50 mil.
What's that?
Does it pay myself 50 mil a year? Yeah.
Yeah, like I mean, like how many times do we have to see this? Like the Aptos founder, but most recently we had like the Story founder, now the Eclipse founders, like that do nothing for 4 years, but go out there and freaking, whack off how great they are in the markets, and then cash out all their coins. And the second their team tokens are liquid, they're like, oh, I'm sad to announce that my journey with the Story protocol is coming to an end. It was a great journey, but I'm moving on to other things. You're in good hands. Like, dude, you just rode the gravy train for 4 years and cashed out as soon as you possibly could to move on to the next thing. Like we just keep seeing this again and again and again. Like again, I want to hate the player, but you can't hate the player, dude. It's like if these VCs, if this big money is going to keep chucking, hundreds of millions of dollars at these people, like, all right, great, more power to them. Like, you just feel bad for any retail investors that get caught up in this thing. So if you're a retail investor watching this stuff, like, I mean, I don't know. I kind of think the days of investing in this, Solana pre-sale, the kind of stuff are over. I mean, look at the valuations that these companies are getting in their pre-sales. Like it's their multi-billion dollar, like, pre-sale valuation. Like you're not gonna make money on that.
No.
You're not gonna get 1,000x on that.
No. Just wait for the charts to fucking, come back down to like reality. Like, don't buy on day one. Just give it a month or two, and like things will.
Or wait, like if you really love Barachain, okay, wait a year. And in a year, we're going to be in a bear market. They're going to fire sale 70% from where they are now. If you still believe in it,
or you come to us. Or you come to us on the secondaries. We have good deals.
Exactly. Even better. Even better, Jan. Wait, exactly. Get some secondaries, get some OTC going, get yourself a nice healthy discount. But yeah, I mean, nothing gets Smokey or Barachain personally, but it's just like it's obnoxious seeing this time and time again. And then seeing the stories like with Eclipse, with Story Protocol, with pick these founders who are supposed to be like the next great mind in crypto that just do absolutely nothing for 3 to 4 years, and then the second they're liquid, cash out and like move on to something else or ride off into the sunset. It's obnoxious. Hopefully, retail wises up to it. Which eventually, if retail wises up, then the VCs will be forced to pull their heads out of their asses and invest in something different. But
they'll never learn, my friend. They'll never learn. I'm telling you.
They won't. But the 68 people watching right now, they're gonna learn. They're gonna learn. They're gonna take this to heart. and they're either going to come, get some OTC from us if they can, or if that's not their game, at least hopefully they'll be better educated next time one of these, the next L1, L2, greatest thing since sliced bread comes out. They're not going to fall for it. So, what else we got here? The scams are getting even more scammy. You got to be careful out there. We've seen just in the last week, we cycled internally here. There are some DocuSend scams going around that look super legit. Be very careful. This is one of the worst things you could possibly ever do. Dude, if you're trying to find a website, do not go and Google it. Like if you're trying to find PancakeSwap, if you're trying to find anything you're going to connect your wallet to, don't Google it. There's a million scams out there. Liquid. Like if you're a beginner, like don't go.
To be honest, I think the worst is DuckDuckGo. Like I don't know who's running DuckDuckGo's like internal scamming system, but you go to DuckDuckGo, put any of the top 100 names, you will get 100% scam. Like it's horrendous. And there should be like, this is where I don't understand. Like if you are Google, if you are like one of these big companies, and they're very restricted how you can actually put ads on Google. They're very restricted how you can basically hack the system in DuckDuckGo, but you still get these. Like I think it's very unresponsible.
Sure.
But yeah, just as Nathan said, be very careful when you connect your wallet. Be very careful. Don't get into any Zoom meetings. Don't if the offer is too good, don't believe in it.
Yeah. And it's not your keys, it's not your crypto. Remember that. Like, remember what we talked about this last week. Android update erased all crypto wallets off people's phones. And if all you had was scan your thumbprint to get into your wallet and you didn't write down your seed phrase, you're fucked, bud. All right. So write down your seed phrases. Don't trust Google. Don't trust anybody but yourself. That's the whole basis of this entire industry. Trust but verify, like self-sovereignty. Right.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not your keys, it's not your crypto. I don't know how many reminders we need of that, but be safe out there, guys. Like the last thing you want to do is have busted your dick for, however long, however many cycles, and to lose it all because of some stupid Google fuck up on an update for Android. Right. So, and at the end of the day, you want anybody to blame but yourself, which, that would be absolutely devastating to lose your bag like that. So guys, be safe out there. Don't do silly shit. All right. Well, we're coming up on an hour here. Great first live stream. We will be trying to go live with these instead of pre-recorded from now on. But
we will go through our own M&A.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll hit that here before we sign out. But expect to see us live here. We didn't really announce that we were going to go live. We didn't post about it on social media anywhere. So next week we'll be sure to do that. Try and generate a little more hype here. Give you guys a little better idea of the format. Hopefully get some people coming in here commenting on what we're doing, asking for charts, things like that, and continue to grow this live stream. So one last little story here, kind of a little fun one to end on before we head into the M&A segment here. I don't remember exactly what this was in response to, but Gemini commenting on a Kraken post. I'd be upset if I was a Kraken user too. And Kraken intern coming from the top ropes, turn a profit. He won't be able to keep sending these tweets for much longer. Gemini famously posting like a $200 million loss over the last couple of years. So not the most sustainable. But on one hand, I agree with the Gemini comment. Kraken's UX UI is pretty dog shit. But Kraken wins this round. All right. Yeah, before we go, want to highlight here one of our deal of the week here that we've got here, highlighting the ultra fast layer 1 blockchain, more than 100,000 TPS, 5 millisecond finality, proprietary tech, and ready to scale. This is a new offering that we've got on the marketplace here, Acquire.Fi.com. Again, if you're not familiar with who we are, what we do, we're the largest M&A marketplace in Web3, covering pretty much any and every type of asset in the space, from media marketing companies, launch pads, L1s, DEXs, SEXs, licenses, you name it, we've got it covered on here. We also have a huge OTC and secondaries desk. I want to take a look at this. Now, who would be interested in an ultra fast layer 1 blockchain, and kind of what's the background? Why are they selling this? The team got started here, raised some money, built some very, very sound tech, but came to the realization, we talked about product market fit earlier, came to the realization that the market doesn't need another general purpose L1 in the space there. Again, kind of like we just talked about, a bit of a waste of time. And so they're looking for somebody they can partner with to make a more niche down, more purpose driven and purpose built L1, like we've seen with things like Hyperliquid, building their own, chain specifically for the perp decks, things like, a Mega ETH, et cetera. So that's kind of the direction they're hoping to go. They're hoping to find a partner that can come in, leverage their existing tech. This could be great for a large centralized exchange. It could be great for perp dexes. A lot of different applications here for an L1 here. Again, very, very good tech, very, very good team behind this. And another advantage is these guys aren't broke. They still have funding. They're going to continue to dev out their mainnet and keep things on track with the roadmap. But again, they see a shift in the market. Want to make a product that's more purpose built rather than launching just another L1 into the abyss that's inevitably going to fail and pull another bear chain, like we covered here earlier. So smart guys, kind of look very, very forward-looking team here. If that is something you think might be a good fit, if you want to explore that opportunity more, if you're on YouTube right now, all of our links to our deal flow channel, to our website, etc., are all there. If you are on X, go to our homepage. Our website is linked right in the bio on the homepage. You can come into the marketplace, and it's one of the top offers in there, or just search ultra fast layer 1 in the marketplace for the M&A side of things there. Andrew, I don't know if you have anything you want to add on that there.
Yeah, I just want to say, building something in Web3 is very expensive. I think people are realizing this more and more, and that's why we are getting more and more of these tech plays. But yeah, as Nathan said, this would be very good for someone that is building already or trying to basically scale up their exchange offering. We see a lot of exchanges now doing their own layer 1s. I do think that's going to be the next big frontier. Because of Hyperliquid, a lot of people are going on chain, and obviously, not your keys, not your BTC, which is true. But yeah, check it out. We have more and more offerings every week, and if there's any questions about this listing, just hit me, Nathan, or Andrew up.
Absolutely. And if you are a project looking to get acquired, we are more than happy to chat with you guys. We cover not only the listing and helping you connect with buyers, but consulting on everything from how to get started, legal, how to get your books in order, how to put together the proper offering that's going to help entice the right buyer to connect with you and get your business sold. So if you are in that market as well, we have right on the website here. You can come in and connect with us as well under services here, selling a business. That easy. All right. Nice. I think that's about it for today. Anything else you wanted to cover before signing off?
No, I think I'm good on my side.
Yeah, well, let's see next Friday again, or this Friday actually. Happy to have this more live. Please share, like, and distribute this, and hope to see you next week. Oh, sorry, this week, Friday.
All right.
God damn.
Take it easy, guys. Later.
See you guys.
Ciao.